H2 here. I just thought I would go over a few of the yoga props or props that I use a lot in stretching. Sometimes we don't realize the value of some of the props that we have. So I thought I would just kind of go over a few of the benefits to using them, as well as maybe some things that you didn't know about them. So first, we're going to start out with our yoga block. So this is a cork block. They make many other types of blocks for yoga, as well as just strengthening exercises and stretching. So there are different positions for a block. Sometimes you might go to a class and they'll say, put your block in first position. So first position, you would just have it down flat on the floor. Second position, you would move it to where it's just one little step higher. Basically what the block is doing is bringing the ground up just a little bit closer to you. So if you're doing a forward fold or something, this helps to bring the ground up so you're not just hanging some of those poses that we stay in quite a while. Third position, you've got the block up as tall as it will go. And sometimes you might even need two blocks depending on if you're in a very deep stretch. Sometimes this is helpful. So yoga blocks, if you don't have them, they're really good. You can do them in several different positions, use them in exercising as well as stretching. So that's something that sometimes we might utilize in our workouts. The next thing is a strap. So sometimes these look intimidating, sometimes they're hard to use, but the more you use it, the easier it becomes to figure out what to do with it. So the yoga strap just helps to bring body parts a little bit closer sometimes. So if we're doing a stretch where you've got your arm like this, sometimes it's hard to clasp the hands, so we'll use the strap in the back to bring the hands a little bit closer to one another. Other things that we might use the strap for is just to bring a little forward fold here. So sometimes it's hard to get our body to do things that maybe it once did, and the strap will allow that to happen. So if you can't reach your toes, you can use the strap to help bring you forward, and this is helpful in many, many stretches. So don't ever be afraid to use the strap. Sometimes people feel like it's cheating. It's never cheating. It helps you to get a little bit further into the pose and without stressing, because sometimes we put a lot of extra stress on the body because we think it's cheating to use the strap. It's not cheating. So just grab the strap and don't be afraid. Another thing that we use quite frequently are bolsters. So bolsters are good for many different things. You can use it underneath your neck. You can use it under your spine. You can also use it just to set on if your hips are feeling tight, maybe at the beginning of a yoga practice, or if you're just stretching. Sometimes our hips get really tight. So bringing the hips up, elevating them a bit, you can get a little relief here in the hips. And they make bolsters in many different sizes. This one is a pretty big one, but it is also nice because I can lay down, and it being short, my spine fits over the entire bolster. So you can see like my hips are at the very bottom, my neck is resting here. So this is a really good deep opener of the chest and very, very supportive with the bolster. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is just mats. So find yourself a good mat. The one that I'm setting on, surprisingly, I bought at Target, which I love Target, don't get me wrong, but it's not usually where I would go to buy a yoga mat. But I happened to be on a trip and couldn't bring my mat with me, and so I just hopped in there and found this one. And it's super sticky. It's not my usual yoga mat, but it is a mat that I use a lot for stretching and for just working out because it has a good amount of grip to it, but it also is really thick. You can see the thickness here, which works really well if you have hardwood floors or cement floors. So you take that into consideration whenever you're looking for a mat. Something thick, something that is sticky and grippy for the hands. And also a little tip on yoga mats. If you buy a yoga mat, you might want to unwrap it, let it set out somewhere where it can air out for a day or two at least, maybe even a little bit longer before you use it to get rid of some of the smell. Sometimes they have quite a strong odor whenever you first unwrap them. If you have any questions or anything else that you would add into these tips, please let me know. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks.